Debaters in the class. Okay, hi guys. Welcome everybody to another hour of Verbling English classes here on verbling.com. This is a live class which is happening right now, and if you want to join the class, you can just click on the Join Class button. It's going to be a speaking class, and I thought we would have a little bit of a debate. So it's a way to practice being able to express yourself in English, of course, in different ways. So sometimes it's easier to express ourselves first around specific topics that we are familiar with, and also it's easier to express ourselves, things that we believe in. Sometimes it can be harder to express ourselves if we actually don't believe what we're saying, so like the opposite opinion or something like that. So I thought we might practice doing that, and so I created this document which I think you guys have been going to, just to get us started with some questions. So in a debate we usually well, let me say hi. I'm jumping in here because you guys are all very experienced Verbling students, but let me just say hi to everybody. Hi, Chow.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Chow, who's in the poster? It's a basketball player. Michael Jordan or who?
You may don't know that. Tracy McGrady.
Oh, no.
No, yeah.
Who's
He's
he play?
retired now.
With who?
He's retired now.
Oh,
He
he's
was,
retired.
yeah, he was playing in Houston Rocket.
Oh, Houston Rockets, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a basketball fan?
Yeah,
Oh, do you play basketball?
yeah.
Oh, cool. What position do you play?
I can play 3 positions from
Nice.
the PG to the small forward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Is basketball pretty popular in China?
Yeah, I think it is more popular, obviously, than soccer.
More popular than soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And do you guys play baseball?
No, not
No.
that often.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So basketball. What other sport would be? Is there another sport that is more popular than basketball?
Maybe doing table tennis, ping
Oh,
pong.
yes.
Yeah.
That's very popular. Cool. All right. Well, good. Okay, good. Well, we have more people coming in. Atir, hi there. Atir, how are you? You just
Hi, you're right.
Hi, welcome. And David's back. And Joe, hi Joe, Devil's Advocate. That's good.
Uh, Hi,
That's
Lisa.
good for this class. And Nihan's back. And Nurel, hi Nurel. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
And Saiban, how are you doing?
Thank you, teacher.
Good, welcome. Okay, guys, so we can just start in it. Nihan, we're not talking about sports, okay? Don't be so dramatic, okay? Okay, well, it is 3 o'clock in the morning for her, so we'll give her some slack. All right. Okay, so, yeah, movies, right. We're going to talk about movies all day, every day. This is the 24-hour Verbling movie festival. Probably you would be the only one that can do it because you've watched so many movies compared to everybody else. We don't know enough to debate with you. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. So I have these statements, and I can come up with more. We can talk about more if we want. But the first one says, so this is a statement. Boys and girls should go to separate schools. So somebody is going to have to be for that statement, which means you agree with that statement. And then another person is going to be against that statement, which means you disagree. You don't agree that boys and girls should go to separate schools. You think they should be together. All right. So, do we have any volunteers, or shall I pick?
I disagree.
You disagree. Okay, so Narelle wants to be against. Who wants to be for this argument? You want to argue that boys and girls should go to separate schools.
Yes.
Okay, who wants to argue with, or debate? Sorry, not argue. Debate. We're not having a fight here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
People are going to kill themselves.
This is a dangerous class.
And Verblin doesn't pay insurance,
That's
life
right.
insurance.
You come to class at your own risk. Okay, all right. So I'm going to choose David. David, will you argue the for side? So you're going to say why you think boys and girls should go to separate schools, and then Narelle's going to tell us why that shouldn't happen. Okay? So David, why don't you go first and tell us the good reasons why boys and girls should be going to separate schools.
God helps you, David.
I disagree too.
I know, but you have to pretend.
Yes, but I don't know how to say what I have to say.
Does anybody have a good reason why the boys and the girls should be separate?
Okay, I agree, teacher.
Okay. All right. Okay, go for it. Okay, tell us why you agree.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, tell us.
I think maybe there are in many cases the boys and girls don't pay attention on the study when they are in the same school. Maybe some boys, especially teenager, will fall in love with girls. So it's very difficult to pay attention or to focus on the study. So it's one reason. I mean, maybe they make a relationship. So first of all, we should keep mind. We should separate it for to prevent the making a relationship between girls and boy. That is the first reason. And the other reason, I think it's very difficult in sometimes when boys or girls in the same class they don't share their opinion very comfortable. Maybe they will shy for his or her classmate. He want to say something. He is very he have a good idea. He has a good idea, or she has a good idea, but they are shy, or maybe they are shy because he will be in the. I mean, he don't have he will be not comfortable to discuss with the teachers, and I think those two reasons I have right now.
Okay, good. So I'll summarize the two reasons, or paraphrase them, we could say. So number one, it might be that the boys and girls should be separated because it can make it very difficult for them to pay attention and focus on their studies when they're mixing with each other and maybe falling in love or having some kinds of relationships, especially when they're older as teenagers. And also in a classroom, some either girls or maybe some boys might be too shy and not have enough confidence to speak their mind and express themselves in front of the others. And so if they were separated, they would have a better chance of being able to speak out loud in class and participate without being embarrassed. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, Narelle, what are your reasons for why you are against that?
I think I believe that boys and girls should not go to separated schools. They should go to a mixed school, um, because first of all, this will help them to acquire a skill that they need in the future, which is how to socialize with the opposite sex. So, yeah, by going to the same school, boy and girl can interact with each other and learn from each other. This will help them in both their private life and in their professional life later on in the future. Um, secondly, uh, secondly, it is very important for boys to go to the same school with girls, because boys usually a girl motivates boys to study.
Okay.
Boys are very noisy and they girl help them to compete. So it's for competition purpose also. And finally, I think because it just the way it is, I mean, they should be together because later on in the future they are going to be together. If not under the same roof, it's going to be under the same workplace. So I think they, on one way or the other, they will end to be together somewhere. So why not start in school?
Okay. Oh, that's an interesting point because it made me think about the past when, for a long time, it really was only men in the workforce, and now it is true that now women and men work together more frequently than in the past. And in the past, girls and boys were separated. So I wonder how it works. So just separate the workplace. Exactly. Girls have their country and the guys have their country. Okay. All right. So to summarize what you said then, it sounds like a couple of main points are really important for learning how to be together, we could say, to socialize, to learn how to be together when you're that age, but also in the future, either for your personal life, because presumably you might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you might get married, or you might have some kinds of relationships with the opposite sex, and also especially in the workforce nowadays. And you also say, which is in contrast to maybe somebody who is for that statement, that you think it's a good thing for boys and girls to be together because they can teach each other using their different strengths. So whereas boys might be a little more, we say, rambunctious, noisy, energetic, but they're more competitive, then they can help the girls be a little bit more motivated to be competitive also and be active. But on the other hand, the girls can maybe motivate the boys to do well because maybe they want to impress the girls. And is that right?
Yeah, motivate the boys to
Motivate
study well.
the boys to study, yeah, show them how to pay attention to the teacher maybe or something. Okay, so let's see. Atir, who would you agree with? Would you agree the boys and girls should go to separate schools or not? Atir? And hi, Mohammed. I saw you. Okay, Chow. How about Chow?
Yeah.
Well, I know you have your own beliefs, but did anybody convince you otherwise? What do you think?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, I obviously I opposed to that the boys and girls should go to separate schools.
Uh-huh.
Well, if that's so, I won't have my girlfriend now.
So you see the importance of that.
Yeah, and if that's so, the verbing won't have the mixed students on this class in this class. And so actually, I don't see the justifies reason to
Uh-huh.
let the boys and girls go to the separate school. You
Mhm.
can say there may be some distraction or immature love from that, but it is
Yeah.
not a totally bad thing.
Mhm.
Well, the girls can motivate the boys, and the love can motivate each other, and to well, if you imagine a school with tedious study and another
Mhm.
school with energetic atmosphere,
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
prefer the latter. So
Mhm.
I thought the boys and girls go to the mixed school. Oh, could I
Mhm.
call it co-ed school?
Co-ed,
I don't,
yeah. Co-ed,
oh yeah, co-ed school.
yeah. Co-ed school. Okay. David, what do you prefer?
Mm, um, I disagree. O sea, I am with the boys and girls together
Uh-huh.
because it's stupid separate the men and women because it's the nature to be together.
Mhm.
For example, I have a cousin.
Mhm.
Uh, this man study in a college in a school when accepts only men, and when he grow up,
Mhm.
he feel shy, and he feel nervous when a woman talk with him. Yes, uh, he becomes very shy with the opposite sex, uh, and affect his life.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. Okay. Did you go to a mixed or co-ed school yourself, David?
What? Excuse me?
What kind of school did you go to?
A mix,
A mixed.
of
Okay.
course.
Co-ed. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, that's more the norm we say nowadays, but it is true that there are still some private schools. That's the norm for public schools, but some private schools in the United States and around the world do have, especially in the we call the elementary school,
Yes.
when they're younger, because sometimes before the hormones kick in, so when
Mhm.
the hormones kick in, then they want to be together more, but sometimes the little boys and the little girls definitely learn differently and can distract each other.
Yes, especially the religious or the Catholic.
Yeah, sure, religious schools.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Catholics.
Catholics in a lot of countries, yep.
Yes.
Joe, what do you think?
Uh, Actually, I have absolutely I don't have an opinion on this one. Maybe I'll answer for other things later.
Okay. When you went to school, did you were you in a co-ed classroom or did you have just boys?
Well, when I was a middle school or a high school student,
Mhm.
we didn't I went to we didn't have a co-ed school
Mhm.
when I was younger,
Mhm.
so
So it was
I
all
didn't.
boys?
Yes, all boys or all girls. I
Mhm.
mean, I went to co-ed college, of course,
Sure. Sure.
but when I was younger,
Yeah.
there wasn't there was not that many co-ed middle school or co-ed high school when I was
Uh-huh.
young.
Yeah. And do you think it was okay? Did you mind it or did you?
Well, I honestly don't have any experience. What it's like to be in a co-ed middle school or a co-ed high school, so
Mhm.
I don't think I can answer for that question.
Okay. Okay. All right, Mohammed,
Yes.
how about you? What do you think about the schools? Separated or together?
All right. I see your points, but my point of view that for little kids it's okay to be mixed, but being a teenage,
Mhm.
uh, I prefer separated school because when a boy be in a male school, so he could learn, he could, like it's a school, it's a competition between students, so they help each other to maybe get better. But when it's mixed, maybe the resource is be changed. Everybody will fall in love with another person, with a girl, for example. So boys will look forward to have a relationship, to don't be less or for their less than their friends. So my friend had a girlfriend, so I have to have a girlfriend too. So, and that's not good for education, I think, for education purpose. In the teenager only, but maybe in university and elementary school or primary school, it's okay.
Okay. Nihan, are you grabbing coffee?
Yes.
Your muddy
My
coffee?
thoughts
Your
about that topic.
thoughts about that topic.
Uh, I, I think they should go to separate schools, absolutely, because they are enemies. They wouldn't be in the same place. They should be alienated. In this way, maybe they couldn't learn about relationships, about sex. Ooh, it's really taboo for them.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm kidding. But I just Norel, your echo makes me crazy.
There's an echo? I can't hear it.
And comes from Norel. Sorry, Norel. But in my country, actually, it couldn't be that kind of thing. But some of the parents, especially religion ones, could choose to send their child through a separate school, and I could defend that idea because of their choice. Even I disagree with the statement. But if the parent just wants their children to learn religion way, they could choose that way, and it's okay for me. Even in the Christianity, there are some schools which is girls and boys are separated. But in the modern times, it's really dangerous idea.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing, I think, because there's good points on both sides. Because I know, for example, some programs that are just for boys, and they are really focused on giving boys more of what they need, or what they think they need, like adventure and work and exercise and things that you don't necessarily get like in a regular public high school, where you're trying to meet the needs of all the different types of people, including the boys and the girls. So yeah, and those are always private though. So if a private school wants to create a certain program, and they have programs for girls for certain reasons, or programs just for boys for certain reasons, then that's how they sell their program, because it's private, so it costs a lot of money. But public schools, at least in the United States, are always co-ed. Yeah. Okay, guys, what about number 2? Junk food should be banned from schools.
Could I express my opinion about this? Sorry.
You're there, yeah. You have a little echo when you come on, but yes, please express your opinion.
All right. I would like to say about this topic. I support the mixed school opinion, but I think there should be some subjects in the school that should be taught in different classrooms, especially speaking about the sexuality education. I think that they should have different topics as we know that the woman's got different body, just so they should know more things about what's mean the pregnant, things like what the bad people is doing, so show them to take care with this society, and for example to the men's, show them that to treat well to the women's, things like that. And because what the first was saying about we have to go to separate schools, I think that we're living in a mixed society, so we have to train our people to coexist, in this mixed society.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. So even though they might go to the same school, some classes related to specific topics might be better when handled if you separate them, because they have different ways of talking about things. They need to be able to express themselves in a safe way. So I think that especially here when they're doing sex education classes and those types of things, they give time for that. It's not necessarily the class is separate, but they have separate like meetings or something. So yeah, good. Okay, guys, the number 2 says junk food should be banned from school. So this is because this is kind of a big topic actually in the United States. I don't know if it's a topic in your country for public schools, but for example, in United States in high schools, instead of what used to happen, which they used to make food and lunch, and you would buy your lunch or you could bring your lunch. Now what is available are lots of like soda machines, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, fast food like maybe McDonald's, Subway, things like that. So some people think that should be banned. So that's what they're really talking about, are more like soda machines and fast food type food. Maybe comes from a fast food chain. So who wants to be for getting rid of that? So banning means it should not be allowed to be there.
Yes.
So
yes.
What?
Yes, I am with the idea that
you're ready?
Junk food should be banned.
Okay,
Yes.
Narelle's going to go for it. Who wants to be against it and argue that it's okay to have that kind of food in the cafeteria? Who could say? Anybody?
I agree with Ben.
Okay.
I agree
I
with
think
Ben.
it shouldn't be banned.
It shouldn't be banned. Okay, Chow. I can count on you. All right. Tell us why, Chow. You're going to go first. Why should it not be banned?
Well, the junk food is now the toxic food. Well, you can say it is maybe it's not that healthy, but it is not toxic. It is legal by the law.
Sure.
And if you say it should be banned from schools, you will also say it should be banned from all the cafeterias in the country. But it doesn't make any sense. And you just ban it. You just ban the student's choice. The students are available to choose the junk food. If you don't provide it in the cafeteria, they may buy it from outside or the online. So I don't think it is reasonable and justified to ban it in the school. The students should have the free to choose the junk food.
Okay.
They should know you should educate them. They should know the unhealthy part of the junk food, but they are free to choose. It is just their decision making. They know the harm, but they will still to try it because they value the delicious part of the junk food rather than the harmful part of the junk food. It is just their own choice.
Are you sure you're not learning about capitalism over there in China? The economic.
Kind of,
Yeah.
Spoken like a true American. Okay. I'm teasing you, Chow. Okay, Nurel. Okay, so Chow basically is going with the argument that students should be allowed to make a choice, and that I would assume that you could say that you would trust the students to make their own choices. And if you don't want them to eat the junk food, maybe you could educate them about it. But because the fact is that the food is legal, it's not like illegal to sell this food, it's not like drugs, for example, then it should be allowed to be there. And if people buy it, they buy it. And if they don't buy it, they don't buy it. So, Nurel, why do you think
Yes.
it should be banned?
Yeah, in my view, schools should prohibit junk food because simply it has no nutritional value, and our kids need to eat more grain, more things that are nutritional and that's good for their health. You don't want to have a kid who is 9 years old with a diabetes or with cholesterol, don't you?
No, we don't.
I'm just trying to imitate native because I like the way how they speak.
Yes, yes. You're a politician.
Yes. Yes, it's fantastic. I like it. And so I say, because the junk food are they only cause bad diseases to kids, and kids don't need them. They need to eat something that has more calories, that gives them more energy to keep up with their work, with their study. However, when they eat those junk foods, it's make them sleepy and make them they want to sleep all the time and not do their exercise.
Yeah. Okay. So, in your opinion, then, the school is responsible for providing a safe learning environment, we could call it that, and to promote only those things that are healthy for the students. So since we know, or people think, that junk food is not healthy, we shouldn't allow them to even have the chance to buy it, because I'm saying it a little bit differently than you said it, but summarizing what you said, we have the authority to make these decisions. The children or the students don't have maybe the education or the know-how to understand what it means to eat junk food instead of good food that will help them do better in their classes. Is that right? Nurel?
Yes, Lisa. Perfectly done.
Okay. All right. So let's hear what everybody else thinks about that. You guys presented both sides, so that was good. So there's always at least two sides to an argument or something like this, like a statement. Saiban, what would you say? Is it the school's responsibility to ban the food, or should the students be allowed to make their own choices?
Yes, teacher. Actually, I agree. It should be banned because generally junk food it is really bad for all society, not just for children or for specific classes in the society. So, because as all of you know that this that junk food cause addict for not just for adults, for kids, because especially for kids, because they don't know that junk food, they don't have any idea that the junk food maybe in some cases they don't know that junk food it's very it's very harmful for health, for them health. So as you know, it is junk food. It makes obesity for all people. So I agree that it should be banned, teacher.
Okay, good. Mohammed, how about you? What do you think about the junk food in schools?
Yeah, opinion that it should be banned from schools. Yeah, it's not freedom, but I think school for teaching, so we teach them to do not use unhealthy food. It's not just my opinion, it's the society opinion. It's unhealthy food yes, it's legal, but it's still unhealthy. And it's available everywhere, so they can buy it everywhere. But inside the school, we teach them that it's not so good for you, and that maybe help the parents to make lots of efforts to convince their kids to do not buy those junk food or fast food.
Okay, thank you. Joe, what about you? What is your opinion?
I also agree that junk food should be banned in school, because when you look at the company which is making junk food, their purpose is to make profit, not about providing healthy food or providing nutritional foods is not their objective. They they're only after the profit. So it wouldn't be a wise decision to expose children who are especially vulnerable because they lack the critical thinking. So I think banning junk food as a advisory or cautionary measure uh, can be a good decision if you look at it for a long time. If you consider the effects of the junk food in a long run, I think it's more beneficial for children and everyone else. So I think I agree to the idea that junk food is banned in school.
Okay. All right, David, what do you think?
Well, okay. I disagree with the statement. I think if in the freedom world exists the option of have a free opinion, a religious, why not have the liberty to eat whatever you want. And in the schools, I think the mainly goal of the high schools or school is proportionate is excuse me
Similar or something like
is provide
Proportionated.
okay is provide a good or well education, maybe create values into respect into the children's, and the task of the nutrition and it, I think is responsibility for the parents, not for the school, because the school is for the education. Yes.
Okay. Atir, what do you think?
All right. I think this is a controversial topic. So I think if you want the children to eat healthy, the worst thing you can do is to ban them that food. Because if you ban them this food, after when they will be not in the school, when they will be in the real life, they will choose that food. So if you want them to eat healthy, the thing you have to do is to show them what is really that food and what is the good food. So you have to show them to eat healthy, not to ban them, because if you ban something to a children, is the thing that the children is gonna do.
So you want to promote their own good knowing or education so that they make good choices, even if they can buy junk food.
Yes, I think we should train them. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a slightly different idea to who just said, David,
Atir was
to his
talking.
opinion.
Okay.
I think that there should be a kind of a regulation over things that can affect or damage some others. For example, suppose there is no regulation about I mean the harmful drugs.
Yeah.
Then people can choose to use it or choose not to use it. Uh, but the use of drug will of course will increase, and society will be harmed by it. So I think there should be some kind of a regulation, even if it's minor. So when dealing with the things that can affect, that can have a negative effect on society.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Chow's saying that
Can I answer?
regulation. Yeah. Go ahead, Atir.
Thank you. I think what you was talking about, for example, the drugs in the places that the drugs are legal, is casually the places that the people, the young people, uh, consume less drugs. So if you ban them, the things is the things that the children are gonna want to do. If you want them to smoke, they want to smoke. If you want them junk food, they will eat junk food. You have to train them. What is the good, what is not good, I think.
Yeah, we call that like kind of in business speak or something. We call you have to get them to buy into it. So you get buy-in is actually the noun. And so it means you get people to believe it. So if you want the kids to always pick the good food, you would have to somehow convince them rather than prohibit it to them. You have to like instill this quality in them that they understand how the food affects them and why they wouldn't want to put that in their bodies and that thing. Nihan, did you want to add to that?
I don't know anything in the history which has banned and they have solved the problem. The main solution could be teach them to not to eat that kind of foods, and it could be their preference. And if you ban something, that will follow a lot of things. You have to ban maybe their clothes, you have to ban their sport activities, which is it goes far away. Who will decide to ban the things? I'm not talking about drinking or smoking in the class, but as Cho just said, it's not poisonous, but it's some way unhealthy. But you have to convince them because there are lots of unhealthy things you have to prevent the kids, and you cannot manage to do everything in the same time. And I'm simply against all prohibitions, and I think the parents and the teachers should teach them how to eat health in a healthy way. And I don't know. I'm against that idea because the authorities wouldn't be give the correct decisions every time. If a decade later, they should say, yeah, you can smoke marijuana at school. What would we do?
Yes.
But what can we do? I think the first thing is first. Education is the everything.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing about things like junk food, for example, because a lot of times, this I think goes back to where Chow was talking about regulation, and maybe Joe, you were saying about regulation. Sometimes manufacturers and businesses are allowed to use things that we don't actually know yet if they're good for us or not so good for us. I mean, really. And so sometimes it's a kind of a gamble, you know, like you can
they can put some warnings etiquettes on that food. Maybe we can know. you know, it's really big problem that we don't know what we are eating. Maybe
Yes.
they could change the labels and the people can choose.
Right, and that's what some people want is labeling of food. So when you pick up a can of something, you know, you think it's just peaches, but maybe there's all kinds of other stuff added because for the purpose of the coloring or the making the flavor last a lot longer, some kind of chemicals or something, which may or may not be so good for you. So yeah. Did you want to say anything else, Chow or Narelle?
No. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. We're only going to have time for one more. So let's see. Gambling, the internet, or animals?
Gambling.
No gambling. It's obvious. I think the fourth one.
The internet?
Yeah. We are quite experts.
Yes,
all of
you
us.
are. Okay.
No, all of us.
All of you are experts. All right. Who wants to be for the internet brings more harm than good? So it's not so great, basically.
Norel?
No, internet is great.
Okay.
I am learning English right now.
That's right.
Conveniently in my house.
That's right. Nice and warm in your house.
Nice and warm.
You didn't even have to get in your car.
Exactly. Or paying for the parking lot.
Okay. Let's see. Mohammed, would you want to go against or for?
Yep.
Okay, which one?
Against.
Against.
Against the statement. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I think that it's one of the lots of things that really we have liberty at freedom. So you have all choices to do whatever you want to do. Depends on the person and how he uses it. But I see now that lots of students, lots of teenagers, lots of university students, lots of in work, even in any field, even English education. So we can use it in every field. So we cannot live without it, I think. So we can, in my opinion, it's good. It's better than harm things.
So the internet brings more good than harm.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Why don't we actually just everybody tell their opinion because we only have time for that probably. So Saiban, what do you think? Do you think the internet is a good thing or not so good?
Yes, teacher, I totally agree that internet it is have a dark have a light side more than dark side. I mean the internet is very good as the earlier my classmate mentioned because the internet it is take place their books role take place. I mean you can get information what anywhere. I mean any places you can get information. Instead you have hold your books and you read the books. You have a books in the internet. You can learn English in the internet. This is the first reason. And the other reason I think teacher it is very internet make a great role in the Arab Spring. I mean in recently the more rebellion or I mean when the rebellion have want to rebellion they against the regime. It is maybe they don't like this regime, so they have internet. They encourage each other. So in the Arab Spring the people have internet have a good, I mean a great role, play a great role. I don't tell you that this internet against I mean I don't want to internet always have a good thing for the people. Internet also have the dark side like the violent or another thing. But the light side it's I mean, more than have a light side than the dark side teacher.
Okay.
I think, or as you mentioned, that have advantage more than disadvantage.
Yep, that's a good way to put it. Atir, how about you? What do you think about the internet? Does it bring more harm than good?
I think internet is good, but the really purpose isn't. I mean, maybe it does not make no sense for someone, but I think that it's under control the wrong hands. I mean, we are in this society. I think the people, the rich people, really rich people, the people who manage this world, is using this to control us even more than we are. And I don't know. I think they are keeping a lot of information about this topic.
Chow, what do you think?
Well, I think one thing we need to realize is that the internet is a tool, and you cannot blame the tool when you use the tool to kill a person. It totally depends on how do you use it. And I think the reason we say the internet is so wonderful because people use it wonderfully. Because people use the internet to develop the Google Hand and verbally. It's all good things made by the people on using this tool. And although there are some people use the tool to do the evil things, there are some regulation about it, but not on the tool, on the action depend on the tool. You cannot blame the tool itself. And also I think you cannot throw out the water, including the baby. I know there's
yeah, you can't throw the baby out with the bath water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm for the internet. It brings more good than the harm.
Okay. David? David?
Okay. I agree with the statement mainly, but I can't deny the advantage who brings the internet. I mean the information, the many things who many positive things. I think the internet is not good for certain age. I think mainly the children and the teenagers um, have a rules or restrictions because I don't know in years before I can see the children in the park playing and practicing sporting and doing good things, but in nowadays I can see for example my little sisters all the time in Facebook, all the time in YouTube, all the time Twitter, all the stuffs, and many people that sit on the computer all day and don't do anything more. I think it's good for more veteran people that for young people.
Okay. Joe?
I think the internet brings more good than harm, definitely. For example, it provides unprecedented opportunity for worldwide communication. So it's a good place for promoting democracy. It's quite unprecedented.
Yeah.
So okay. In that sense, internet is a good thing. But also there are some bad things on the internet, like people use it as a new way to fraud others. Some cyber criminals steal people's credit card numbers,
Yeah.
and also there can be a lot of privacy issues. And as US NSA scandal shows, it can be a very easy and useful tool for government to watch over its citizens.
Yeah, and other
So,
countries. And other
yes,
presidents.
also yes,
Yes.
and so I think there should definitely be some kind of rule to minimize the risk of negative things on the internet. But also, in general, I think internet is a good thing. Good thing.
Okay. Nihan and then Nurel. Nihan.
What's the topic?
You hate the internet. Tell us why you think it's so bad.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I make it myself. Okay. Actually, in some point, it's true. Yeah. Cho just said it's not about tools; it's about people. But sometimes tools could be tricky, and it could be really attractive. Instead of chatting or spending a lot of time on internet, I could go out with my friends, maybe. Actually, my honest answer is, when I was in university, it was a really harmful thing for me. Yes, it helped me a lot with my studying, but it was quite an early times on internet. There were lots of dirty news that you shouldn't have believed them. Because they weren't really true. They weren't checked with the experts or authorities.
Verified, yeah.
Yeah. But in those days, I have spent a lot of time on internet. Sometimes when I just drop by school, my teachers just said to me, "Oh, welcome," because they haven't seen me in a while. Maybe I couldn't go to the school for a week or 2 weeks because I was sleeping very late and I couldn't wake up.
Yeah.
And in those years, it was really hard to pass my exams. And in 2 years, I haven't passed any of them just because of the internet. It was really new and it was really attractive in those years. I mean, in 1998.
Yeah.
And it was harmful for me. Then I just started to learn how to use that tool. Nowadays, obviously, I haven't spent a lot of time. And till Verbling, I'm honest with that answer. Really, till Verbling, I haven't spent an hour on internet for 10 years, maybe for more. I only search for movies, and sometimes I couldn't, I didn't go to Facebook or that kind of social media or something, and it was a good way. But for when I just discovered Verbling, oh my gosh, I've spent lots of time on Verbling. It's a good way because I'm learning a new language, but in some point it's a kind of an addiction, and it's not a really how can I say it's not really healthy for my relations, because my boyfriend just said let's go out, and I just said no, I have some things to run, I have some things in home, and he just answered Verbling again. Yes. Maybe he could break with me in a few months because I haven't spent any time with him.
Oh, you better invite him to join Verbling so you can be in class together.
He hates learning a new language, and he said he has no skills to learn a new language. But anyway, there are always pros and cons, and just Charles said we should have to learn how to use that tool. It could be really, really harmful for many of them, and sometimes it could be really, really helpful. But we have to decide it. It's not about internet.
Yeah, it's not making us. Yeah. Nurel, you're the last one, and I just noticed, Anka, that you joined us, but we're actually finishing up this class. We're just going over, and I don't actually think there's another class scheduled, so it's okay. But you're actually coming to the end of a class, not the beginning. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cry in my room.
Don't cry. Okay, Nurel, how about you tell us?
Well, I would like. I'd like to say something negative about the internet, but what I get right now is just the positive side of it. Look, for example, there are many free websites, and Skype is one of them to communicate for free with your family. What do you want?
So you'll take the bad with the good.
Yeah, I live in the United States, and I used to spend a lot of money to call them on the phone. Now it's free, and thanks to internet. Plus, I can do my research. Help me with taking notes. Very clear and very, I have a bad handwriting, and my laptop is helping me to have those best handwriting ever. Because I take all my notes by using my laptop. So it's a lot of things. I can shop online. I can read a book online. I can see movie on the internet. So lots to do. I know all of these things. If you abuse of the use of the internet, then you may become addicted. But as Nihan said, you should learn how to use your internet, and that's it. I mean, and you will be okay.
Yeah, so figuring out what works for you, and like Charles said, use it as a tool. But it is like Nihan's story demonstrates, we could say, it's a learning process. You might have to go through the dark side of the process to come to a more balanced way of using a tool. Yeah.
Over time.
Okay. Okay, you guys, thanks for coming and talking and sharing your opinions and trying new opinions. And Nihan,
that's fun.
Okay, kept you awake. Good. Now you can go to sleep.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, bye. I'll give her some slack. All right. Okay, so yeah, movies, right? We're gonna talk about movies all day, every day. This is the 24-hour Verbling movie festival. Probably you would be the only one that can do it because you've watched so many movies compared to everybody else. We don't know enough to debate with you. Okay, so here's how it's gonna work. So I have these statements, and I can come up with more. We can talk about more if we want. But the first one says, so this is a statement. Boys and girls should go to separate schools. So somebody is going to have to be for that statement, which means you agree with that statement. And then another person is going to be against that statement, which means you disagree. You don't agree that boys and girls should go to separate schools. You think they should be together. All right. So, do we have any volunteers, or shall I pick?
I disagree.
Not
No.
that often.
No. Okay. So basketball. What other sport would be? Is there another sport that is more popular than basketball?
Maybe doing table tennis, ping
Oh
pong.
yes,
Yeah.
that's very popular. Cool. All right. Well, good. Okay, good. We have more people coming in. Atir, hi there. Atir, how are you? You just.
Hi, you right?
Hi, welcome. And David's back. And Joe, hi Joe, Devil's Advocate. That's good.
Hi,
That's
Lisa.
good for this class. And Nihan's back. And Nurel, hi Nurel. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great.
And Saiban, how are you doing?
Thank you, teacher.
Good, welcome. Okay, guys, so we can just start in it. Nihan, we're not talking about sports, okay? Don't be so dramatic, okay? Okay, well, it is 3 o'clock in the morning for her, so we'll debaters in the class. Okay, hi guys. Welcome everybody to another hour of Verbling English classes here on verbling.com. This is a live class which is happening right now, and if you want to join the class, you can just click on the join class button. It's going to be a speaking class, and I thought we would have a little bit of a debate. So it's a way to practice being able to express yourself in English, of course, in different ways. So sometimes it's easier to express ourselves first around specific topics that we are familiar with, and also it's easier to express ourselves you know, things that we believe in. Sometimes it can be harder to express ourselves if we actually don't believe what we're saying, so like the opposite opinion or something like that. So I thought we might practice doing that, and so I created this document which I think you guys have been going to just to get us started with some questions. So in a debate, you disagree. Okay, so Narelle wants to be against. Who wants to be for this argument? You want to argue that boys and girls should go to separate schools.
Yes.
Okay, who wants to argue with, or debate, sorry, not argue. Debate. We're not having a fight here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
People are going to kill themselves.
This is a dangerous class.
And Verblin doesn't pay insurance,
That's
life
right.
insurance.
You come to class at your own risk. Okay, all right. So I'm going to choose David. David, will you argue the for side? So you're going to say why you think boys and girls should go to separate schools, and then Narelle's going to tell us why that shouldn't happen. Okay? So David, what we usually well, let me say hi. I'm jumping in here because you guys are all very experienced Verbling students, but let me just say hi to everybody. Hi, Chow.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Chow, who's in the poster? It's a basketball player. Michael Jordan or who?
You may don't know that. Tracy McGrady.
Oh, no.
No, yeah.
Who
He's
does he play?
retired now.
With who?
He's retired now.
Oh,
He
he's
was,
retired.
yeah, he was playing in Houston Rocket.
Oh, Houston Rockets, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a basketball fan?
Yeah.
Oh, do you play basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What position do you play?
I can play 3 positions from the PG to the small forward.
Nice. Is basketball pretty popular in China?
Yeah, I think it is more popular, obviously, than soccer.
More popular than soccer. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And do you guys play baseball?
No,